All right, Shalom Yasharallah. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, the teacher and well, peace, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Back another video, another lesson. And we're just going to go into news with this one. All right, linking, things that's happening around the world and to link them up with the scriptures that's in the Bible. All right. Because we are in the last days. We're in the end times. We're living in the end times. We're about to see a lot of things happen, as witnesses. All right, we're gonna be witnesses to the Jacob's trouble, Lord willing. If we're not, if we have the elect, if you're gonna, some of us may be martyred. Some of us may be, put into, persecution is coming. All right, that's the the bottom line. But like I said, some may be martyrs. Some of us may be, all right, in tight situations. You're going to be thrown in jail. All right, those things are coming upon us, and a lot of things are coming upon this world as we see this war taking off. All right, with U.S., Israel, and Iran. All right, and you got these other nations, tagging in, joining along. Right. Let me see. Yeah, just from End Time Headlines. Refresh this. It says Iran conflict goes global, right, with over 20 nations now militarily involved. It says 10 days into President Trump's Iran campaign, the war has gone global. At least 20 countries are now militarily involved, shooting, shielding, or quietly supplying, while a widening energy shock punishes nations far from the front lines. This isn't World War III, but it may be the closest we come in decades. And this is going to lead to World War III. All right, things like this, events like this is going to lead to that, right? Let's get, matter of fact, let's get Revelation. Is it 16? Yes, this is Revelation 16 and 13. And the title is Armageddon. It says, Salakia. Close that window. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirit of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world. All right, and these unclean spirits these are 3 city states. Washington D.C. is the military power. You got London, United Kingdom, which is the financial, and you have the Vatican, which is the spiritual. All right. It says to gather them to battle of that great day of God Almighty. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and he that keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. All right, and that's Yahweh. That's the greatest. Yahweh Shai is speaking. All right, you gotta keep your garment. You gotta, because it says, "Blessed I come as a thief." When the Lord returns, like a thief in the night, as it says in Matthew and it says in 1 Thessalonians. Unless he walk naked, unless you caught off guard. You just walking around, you not knowing what's going on, man. You walk around with your pants down. As they say in the world. But it says, and he gathered them together in the place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which we can, if we go to that, right?
Strong's G 717, Harmageddon. Harmageddon.
Which this is in the Greek. It says the hill or city of Megiddo. It says in Revelation 16 and 16, the scene of the struggle of good and evil is suggested by the battle plain of Esdraelon, which was famous for 2 great victories of Barak over the Canaanites and yada yada yada. Right? But if we look it up in the Hebrew, Har means hill or mountain. All right, Magad
Strong's H 4023, Megiddo. Megiddo.
They say Megiddo.
Second entry, Megiddon. Megiddon.
But it says Megiddo or Megiddon, place of crowds. All right. And if you can cross-reference this to Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right. And it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the actual heathen, all right, other nations. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You know, these weak nations, because the weak nations, you know, they were at one point, you know, because America and Russia are the top powers, superpowers, you know, and even at one point, America was the top superpower. You know, these other nations couldn't, you know, even they even think about going up against, you know, fighting against America, because America had nuclear war. The army is the army is strong. You know, the military is strong, I should say. All right, and these other nations, they couldn't compare. You know, but now it says to let the weak say I am strong. Now these weak nations, they have nuclear arms of their own. They have a strong military. They have, you know, and they have allies with them. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. That's the Lord's name. Let the heathen be wakened, and come into the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right, so this is going to lead to World War III, man. Right? But it says, let's keep reading. But it may be the closest we come in decades, drawing in more countries, more great powers, and more overlapping conflicts than any crisis since the Cold War. Iran has struck at least 10 countries since the war began, hitting U.S. and Israeli bases, Persian Gulf capitals, oil infrastructure, and civilian areas in an attempt to impose maximum pain on Washington and its allies. Iran has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow choke point through which 20% of the world's oil flows, sending prices for oil, gas, plastics, and fertilizer soaring across the globe. Israel is fighting on two fronts, pounding Iran while battling Hezbollah on the ground in Lebanon, where more than 500,000 people have been displaced in a week. The war has spread far beyond the Middle East, pulling European militaries into the conflict and forcing NATO to shoot down Iranian missiles over Allied territory for the first time. France has dispatched its nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to the eastern Mediterranean, joining British warships after an Iranian-made drone struck a UK airbase on Cyprus, a member of the European Union. Greece and Turkey, bitter rivals within NATO, have also rushed forces to Cyprus, where their fighter jets now face each other across a partition line that has divided the island for 50 years. Even Australia said Monday it's sending missiles and a radar plane to help the UAE and other Gulf countries defend themselves from Iran. You see? So this thing is heating up, man. All right, and like I said in the article, this can affect, where I see that at. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz. And with this attack, now people over here they're getting scared, because now, let's pull this up. All right, let's listen to this. It says U.S. warns of attacks on U.S. soil. Sleeper cells activated. Let's take a listen.
Federal government's alerting law enforcement agencies Iran may be activating sleeper cells. The alert says the U.S. intercepted encrypted communications that may serve as an operational trigger for sleeper assets.
We all need to be on heightened alert. They will look to use cyber attacks. They will look to use proxies like Hezbollah, criminal agents, to try to disrupt things here in the homeland.
Some pretty incredible news coming out today, March 9th, 2026. Let's take a look at the latest headlines with me. Iran may have have activated sleeper cells to carry out attacks around the globe, U.S. officials have said. Iran sends out suspected operational trigger to activate sleeper cells abroad after Khamenei's death, U.S. officials have warned. Now, Iran war. New alert warns of sleeper cells activating. Iran activating global sleeper cells. Secret messages suggest, and you can see this coming out today, March 9th, 2026, developing news that the United States believes that Iran has now initiated or activated the call for sleeper cells to wake up and attack. And a lot of people asking the question, what is even a sleeper cell? That is a group that has been set in place probably over the past 4 years, groups making their way across our U.S. southern borders into our U.S. cities on our U.S. soil, groups that are essentially sleeping, waiting to be activated. And when they get the call, the trigger, the initiation, they then attack on U.S. soil. And now we're hearing that the FBI, U.S. Intel is warning that today, March 9th, 2026, they believe that trigger might have been initiated as a result of the conflict taking place in the Middle East. And take a look at the other articles that have been coming out over the past couple of days. U.S. officials are increasing security over fear of attack by Iran amid U.S.-Israeli bombings. Federal and local officials have announced more patrols, counterterrorism measures, and heightened monitoring here on U.S. soil. After U.S. strikes, North America is on high alert for an Iran-backed terrorism in retaliation for what is currently taking place in the Middle East. And let me know your thoughts.
You can look more into that, so let's get this real quick. Which one I had? No, it's over here. Second address, I want to say, is it 15 or 16? I think it's 16. I'm sorry. Yep. Second address 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. We're in that time. We're in the beginning of sorrows and great death and famines, wars, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And the scourge is like a punishment, right? The Lord sends punishments for his people to get right. Behold, victuals, which is food, right? It says, famine is going to come, and the word, and also the famine of the word is coming. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So we're gonna see a lot of great death is coming, man. And they got these sleeper cells activated. They can cause a false flag. Oh, speaking of a false flag, yep. Look at this. This happened a couple of days ago. A attack on the Jewish synagogue, and another one happened in Michigan. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yep, right here. Michigan synagogue attack updates. Temple Israel suspect identified. You see, so this happened twice. One here in Baltimore, and another in Michigan. So they're clearly they're up to something. You see that? Esau is trying to, let's get Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. He knows his time is short. Esau knows his it's up. His time of ruling is over. but he's trying to prolong it. That's why he's trying to get us out the way. Because his plan is to destroy the nation of Israel. That's what he wants to do. He wants to erase us off the earth. Because if he does that, then the Lord can't. If the Lord comes back, he has no one to save. But he can't do it because Israel is innumerable. We're scattered throughout the whole world. So you can't. And we're mixed in with these. Well, I won't say mixed, but we've gone to these other. We're scattered in these other nations, man. So you can't really tell who's Israel, who isn't. So they're these things are different things are happening, man. You got this humanoid soldiers put to the test in Ukraine. So not only is AI coming for your jobs, they coming for the army as well. Now you may have, humans still within the army or the military to manufacture. But eventually, this is what they're going to be using, man. They're going to use, humanoid soldiers to replace you. You see, because this is their plan. Their plan is to put humanity in like a, well, how can I explain this? They want to put you in a 15-minute city. They want to put the C-hip in you. They want to trace you. They want to put you on a grid. What's it called? And I want to say they want to put you on the grid so they can track and trace you and see things that you're doing. Because if let's say you say the wrong thing or you get online, but you'll need a ID for that. Right, and a digital ID to get on the internet. You say the wrong thing online, they can freeze your bank account, or they can just take all your money. And now and they're gonna shut you, and you can't get on the internet. So now you're gonna be hungry. You can't get on the internet. Because this is control. This total control is what they want, man. And like I said, World War III is popping off. Let me get this over here in Jeremiah. And America's allies is turning against her. Right? This is Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna start at let me just go straight to point 27. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat. Ararat is Turkey, Mini and Ashkenaz. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. You see? And the Medes is Russia. That's the bear. All right, and the bear is going to take down this kingdom, man. The Lord's going to put a spirit on these nations to shoot their missiles, to shoot their nuclear missiles, whatever they have, here to America. And everybody who isn't of the elect in America, even the heathen. Not to say the heathen are the elect. Let me rephrase that. Whoever's an Israelite, and if you're not of the elect, you're going to burn up with the heathen here in America in the lake of fire. You see? So a lot of things is happening, man. We like I always say, or like brothers always say, we should be rejoicing, cause and Lord willing we of that number, hopefully, prayfully, but hard times is coming as well, man, so we got to stay prayed up, stay in the spirit, and continue to, and hopefully the Lord will get us through, cause he said a servant's going to eat, so I just want to bring that out real quick. Lord will be back with another one. We don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to those four elect. Lord's way was edified. Lord will be back with another one to the Messiah. Shalom.